In my actor component header, I will define a dynamic multicast event with one parameter. The event name is on web server content received. For the parameter, I also need to pass the parameter name, which is content, of type fstring. I'm adding the event handle with uProperty to make it available for blueprints. This is the standard way how events work in Unreal Engine, and how those should be exposed to blueprints. In the method where I receive a content, I will be doing exactly the same what I already did in the callback to broadcast an event. The component code is complete. Now in the actor, I will bind to the new event. I am adding a new C++ actor in the editor. This time it needs to be inside of the project and not the plugin. Make sure you have the project selected in the right-hand menu. I give as a name receive event actor. The actor was added, but my IDE cannot see it. I am sure it's there in the project source. Right-click, then add existing item, find the files and click add. I will get rid of the tick method and I will add a web server component. The way it should be added to any C++ actor. I also will do a blueprint version later. Both blueprints, one from this C++ class and the other as pure blueprint. They all will receive text sent to the web server. This is the web server component. It has a configurable port, but to see the web server component in my blueprint and change its port, I need to add uProperty to it. Also, I would still need uProperty regardless. Without it, the writer suggests this field can be garbage collected at any time. And reading the documentation also confirms it, so I am blindly following my writer IDE suggestions as it knows the code better than me. This will make the component visible to a blueprint. I want to make it read-only so it cannot be deleted, and the last meta property will allow it to stay in private, or you can just move it under public. Finally, I am adding a U function, which will be used in event binding, when content is received. Same way as I did in the web server component when catching an event. Lastly, I want to define an fstring, to test that I can save a received content to my class field. The method body will simply print the received text. Then I will assign the received content to my class field. When I did this earlier, The Unreal Engine sometimes crashed and all the other times it was behaving inconsistently. I see if I can reproduce it. I am creating a web server component in the constructor using createDefault subObject method. The simple web server component header include was added by writer. If you are using Visual Studio, don't forget to include it. I am binding to an event which is broadcasted by the component. I am binding to dynamic delegate. I will be using the method I already defined for this purpose. It is read as the method signature is not quite correct. It accepts a copy of fstring as argument while the event uses the reference of fstring as parameter. I will change the method signature. For the test I will be dragging the C++ actor to the scene and then do my usual testing with curl. The post message was printed in the Unreal Editor console. It works as expected. Now suppose I want to change the web server port. I will create a blueprint of this class and change it there. Let's see how the blueprint looks like. This is the web server component. I can change the port, but I cannot delete the component because I made it read-only. The delete option is disabled. I will delete the blueprint I just created. It was only for demonstration of the port and read-only. If you do not want to delete it, make sure to remove it from the scene. I want to see if I can reproduce the issue I was having in the past. The Unreal Engine crashed when I assigned this content to the class field. I will also show a workaround. This time it did not fail. But I will be using my workaround regardless, it may still fail in the future when I will be using it in some other way. I spent an hour trying to figure out the root of the problem and it led me to this method. The issue was related to the conversion from standard string to F string. This line of code was causing the issue. My workaround uses fstring printf method and it works like a charm. Another quick test to make sure my patch works. And it works. I will delete all actors from the scene before my next test. I will now show you how to test it using only the blueprints. I am creating a new actor blueprint. I want to have a good name this time, BP Web Actor. I will add my simple web server component to it. I am changing the port to 8082. Compile and save. Drag the blueprint to the scene to test. Port 8080 is not in use this time. I should be using port 8082. I do not have any listener bound yet. I will add a listener now to receive the content from the component. I will only be using the begin play event. I will drag the web server component and use its pin to find the event. On content received event, it's right there. I need the bind event variant. The event is bound, and using the event pin, I will add custom event. This should have the content parameter. Where is it? The parameter is in the delegate but it's not available in the blueprint. It also does not compile, it prints that it needs parameter content. I eventually found that a blueprint cannot access fstring parameter passed by reference. I need to change the parameter to be fstring without ampersand. The build complained about my actor method where I still receive fstring reference. I will be changing the method signature back. I think it will create a copy of text, but at least it will work in a blueprint. I've built the project and will see how the blueprint reacts to the change. It does not compile. I am removing the offensive custom event and will add it again. The content parameter is there. I will be printing it to the screen. Compile, save and test. It is working. I can see the message on the screen. This completes the plugin work. It is finally done. But wait, I shut down the Unreal editor and it crashed? This is bad, and I don't know what is causing it. But I have to find out. Could it be a temporary glitch? I will open the project again and repeat my test. But this error still occurs. So, I have to retrace all the steps, rebuild all the libraries, rebuild all the projects. And then I accidentally discovered what is causing it. This code in the module destructor is the issue. I added it to demonstrate the Unreal Engine crash when I close it. And then I forgot about it. But I still want to try and free the memory allocated by this pointer. I will be doing it in the destroy instance method this time. Let's see if it works. It crashed the moment I stopped the web server. I do not know how to free the memory of this web server pointer. I am removing this line. It may introduce a memory leak, but in my plugin I am only using the single instance of the web server which exists throughout the running application. And when the application is closed, all the memory will be freed anyway. The final test to ensure the code is working in the Unreal Engine can close without issues. This completes the plugin code.